So many people say, I'd rather just live the lifestyle I want and die happy, except you won't. The last 10 years of your life are going to be horrible. Doctors, what is something that you wish everyone knew about their body? You need some kind of exercise. Doesn't matter how you feel right now, sitting for 12-16 hours a day will have negative consequences. You often will feel normal even with high blood pressure. It's often found incidentally, so don't wait until it gives you symptoms you don't want to go through. Don't do DIY surgery or hold off on reporting things that are obvious warning signs. Don't be the guy who tried to remove his skin cancer with a knife. This is going to sound really basic, but I wish my patients would know what meds they are on when they come to the hospital. At least once a day comes somebody in who goes, yeah, I take 8 pills in the morning, 3 in the evening, and 4 at lunch, but don't ask me which. Your doctor, you should know. I beg of you, before going to a doctor that has never seen you before, write your meds, doses and all on a piece of paper. Just to clarify, I work in Germany on the internal medicine ward. I can only see patients record if they were in my hospital or in the neighboring hospital, otherwise I have to call their family doc, who may or may not be at all times available. I mostly just send a family member home to bring the goodies bag so that we can go over them, but as you can imagine, that takes a lot of time. Your kidneys and liver cheerfully do all the toxin elimination you'll ever need. Cleansers and other detoxifying products are BS and a waste of money. The people who sell them are predators who only care about your money becoming theirs. Women, please do not use soap or douching products inside your vagina. It has a delicate pH balance and this is how you get yeast infections. Wash your labia, but do not clean internally. The vagina is self-cleaning just like your eyeballs. Do you wash your eyeballs? No. Do you wash your face? Yes. Many simpler diseases in the body can be compared to a car. When you don't get regular checkups and take regular care, it's not like you'll notice something bad happening right away, just like how you won't notice a missed oil change a couple thousand miles later. But diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, alcohol dependence, etc., they all sneak up on you. Just like how eventually, that engine won't run as smooth. The second thing is that your body isn't like a TV remote, where you pop out the old batteries and put in some new ones. You can't expect to come into a hospital and walk out feeling 100%. People have some unrealistic expectations of what doctors can do, and there is research which demonstrates how TV shows provide the public with these false beliefs. I'm a Grey's fan also, but it's not real medicine. The first line treatment for most of our common diseases is, wait for it, lifestyle modification. It's not drugs. It's not surgery. 50% of newly diagnosed type 2 diabetics do not require anything more than diet and exercise. Cessation of smoking is the second best thing you can do for your health, and every little amount you decrease smoking has a profound impact. Again, you won't see it now, but you'll see it down the road, like the oil change. And if you do need meds, like how most will eventually need meds for their blood pressure, don't play around with it. Take it every day. Hypertension is called the silent killer. You can't really feel your blood pressure, but it's slowly damaging every artery and every organ in your body. And that comes down to the last point. Exercising is the key to a better life. If you put in the work, there is no upper limit. That's not an exaggeration, but the findings of a landmark paper that made news everywhere last October. Not exercising is worse than smoking, diabetes, or coronary artery disease. It is the single best thing you can do for a healthier life. Your health is a shared responsibility, and we're here to help. Antibiotics are not some magic cure for every pain in your body, nor for the flu or common cold. Never ever boil breast milk. In my country there is a popular belief that breast milk jaundice in newborns can be treated by boiling one's breast milk, but by doing this you destroy all the nutrients and it basically becomes as nutritious as water is. Do not give honey to children below the age of 1. Do not rub your child with rubbing alcohol as to lower his fever. Baby wipes don't substitute daily baths or showers. That the immune system is an incredibly complex and nuanced organization of cells that communicates readily to destroy anything deemed hostile within the body. It helps explain why vaccines are supposed to work, why allergies come and go, and why transfusions and transplants are hard to successfully pull off. A lot of people are asking how allergies work, so here is a brief explanation using pollen. Allergic rhinitis, As an example, your immune system senses pollen in the body. It doesn't appear to be one of your cells, so the B cell collects samples of it, relays it to a helper T cell, which in turn helps specialize the B cell to become one of two cells, effector and memory cells. Effectors mass produce antibodies, while memory cells are reserved for future invasions. This is why initial exposure to a new substance may not necessarily trigger allergic responses. The signal is still weak as the immune system is still acclimating to a foreign particle. Antibodies flood the pollen particles and signal for basophils mast cells to release histamine, the hormone responsible for inflammatory responses. This is where the runny noses and sneezing come into play, and for more severe allergies, anaphylactic shock. Allergies may fade out over time for several reasons. When exposed to a non-threatening level of an allergy for a long enough time, the body decides that it's not really a threat anymore. Furthermore, as people age, the immune system weakens, making it harder to detect and overreact to allergies. That they only have one life in their behavior now, drinking, smoking, not taking medicines, or whatever will impact their life quality and expectancy, sounds logical, but very few patients really realize it. But not only that, but you typically have years of slowly declining quality of life rather than just dropping dead instantly. So many people say, I'd rather just live the lifestyle I want, eat, smoke, drink, abuse substances as I please, and die happy. Except you won't. You'll spend your 50s and 60s on dialysis and waiting for a kidney or liver transplant, going to the doctor every other week and taking a dozen different medications. Don't even think about going on vacation or watching your grandchildren graduate from high school. The last 10 years of your life are going to be horrible. Before you ruin your life with smoking or alcohol or a bad diet, ask yourself how you feel about dying in a nursing home at 67. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health, someone replied. And frankly, having suffered from anxiety and depression, if your mental health is bad, your physical health will suffer too. You don't have enough energy to prepare food, so you just eat junk. Getting up seems too hard, so you don't exercise. Making a doctor's appointment, too anxiety inducing, so you just don't go. Basic hygiene, such as toothbrushing, decreases, too, because what's the point? You get the idea. Even if you don't care about mental health for its own sake, which you should, realize that it rebounds into your physical health. Drink water. I wish I'd known this when I was younger. I was unemployed, very stressed, and playing an online game called Tribal Wars. I planned to order a pizza, which is how I would get my soda fix. But when I checked the clock, it was already 11 PM, so I just didn't eat that day. So around 6 AM I decided to go to bed. My heart was racing, so I basically got no sleep. Got up at around 5 PM, and when I tried walking out of my bedroom I almost passed out. Took my pulse and it was 160 BPM and I was having difficulty catching my breath. After about an hour of this and laying on the floor, I called 911. Ambulance arrives and they do an ECG, finding nothing but a very rapid pulse. I describe everything to the EMTs and they say I'm probably dehydrated. Drank water for the next 24 hours and after about 24 hours I started urinating again and my pulse went back to normal. Ejaculating blood happens to most people at least once in their lives, and in 99% of cases it resolves without taking any action within a week. It doesn't even warrant a doctor visit. Peeing blood, for both sexes, is a serious medical emergency and you should immediately go to the emergency room. People think it's the other way around. Some people seem to think that if you act healthy for a bit, it'll make up for being a wreck. There are so many things wrong with this. Just one example, antioxidants are like gas for your car. You can store up a certain amount of vitamins, but your tank can only hold so much. If you binge and overfill your tank, it doesn't do anything. You excrete it out as waste, and you can't expect to go the next several months without gas just because you tried to overload it before. You're going to still need to get gas. Same goes for your fruits and veggies. Had someone tell me he went vegetarian for a few weeks, which meant he was done for the year, he was dead serious. Had a patient at risk for heart failure try to insist that if she stayed away from salt entirely for X days or weeks, she should be able to have her fill of McDonald's fries and ramen. Had a smoker argue that if he stopped for some time, he should be able to smoke freely for a while. With some digging, stopping turned out to mean a couple less cigarettes a day. I think there are a lot of obvious ones, like how lifestyle choices in your 20s impact your health and quality of life in your 40s. It would help if more patients knew their family history, though not everyone has this opportunity unfortunately. Prevention is becoming more and more important in medicine, and treating a disease in its early stages is a lot better than catching it late. If you have family members who had ovarian or colon cancer in their 30s, that is very significant for your own risk. The screening and tests we run might change, depending. If you want to start the pill, it's important to know about breast cancer, DVTs, clotting disorders in the family. If you're a bit overweight and have no metabolic syndrome problems in the family, compared to a bit overweight but both your parents have type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, the management priorities change. Asking your family about any recurring diseases or diseases that occurred early, in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, can be helpful. There are certain common conditions that are underdiagnosed but easily fixed. Even if you have non-specific symptoms, it doesn't hurt to tell your doctor during the next visit. About 5% of US adults have an iron deficiency which can cause loss of concentration and fatigue, and a huge amount are vitamin D deficient. When I am able to complete a systems review, ask screening questions about every different body system, I end up discovering a lot of irritable bowel syndrome, hypothyroidism, insomnia, joint pain, headaches, etc. that impacts quality of life, but people don't bring it up because they don't want to be a bother, or think the symptoms are too vague. It's not a bother, and often, but not always, these conditions have simple treatments which can really improve how you feel. Not a doctor but I am a trauma nurse. Motorcycles are awesome, but they are also death machines. Don't ever get on a motorcycle, but if you do anyway, wear a helmet. Not a doctor but this information could save a life. In an emergency situation where you are giving first aid or CPR to someone, instead of stating general instructions to the group of inevitable onlookers, like, someone call 911, someone get a defibrillator, point, if able otherwise some other form of direction, to someone and say, you call 911 and you find a defibrillator. This prevents the bystander syndrome where people think someone else will probably do that and gives clear instructions allowing for a more efficient process where literally seconds could mean life or death. I'm not a doctor, but as someone that works with those who may be in a psychotic break, get sleep. Most psychosis happens because someone haven't had slept or haven't had good sleep for extended periods of time. Some people just need 20 straight hours of sleep and then they never end up in a psychiatric hospital ever again. And don't just randomly stop your medication because you feel better. You feel better because you have consistent amount of whatever is leveled in your body now. And now that your body is hitting equilibrium, everything is going great. So keep doing what you're doing. I've seen people go on and off their medications for years and it really starts to mess up your body if you do that for too long. Thanks for listening to Radio TTS, my hopefully healthy little ice cream sandwiches. Hit the subscribe button and activate the bell notification to elevate your health to the next level. Share your own health tips in the comments below.